Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for May 2024, 2023. I don't know why I keep doing this. I keep saying 2024, but whatever. You have this real estate card. It says any dealings with real estate will be profitable at this time. It says realtor. Some of you could be becoming a realtor. I think that would be a good idea. Loan officer, appraiser, any career in real estate. Build a solid foundation prior to building several stories above it. And, that's kind of what I feel for most of you is that you're focusing on a foundation. You start with the sun. I mean, this is amazing, first row right here, the sun and the Six of Wands. These are both amazing cards for recognition and also achievement. And so I do feel for a lot of you, you could be kind of like achieving a lot of success at this time, or it could also just be personal happiness as well. You have this ecstasy card, if I can say that word today, popping up in this row here. So a lot of you, there could be like a lot of joy and happiness coming into your life. Even with the Five of Pentacles, it could just say, there could be, on this Five of Pentacles in the After Tarot, this lady is choosing to like walk away from weakness. She's choosing to walk away from like despair and walk away from the things that don't make her happy. So, a lot of you, it just seems to me like you're choosing happiness this week, or maybe you're choosing to be happy regardless of what's going on in your life or what's going on around you. And it looks to me here that looking at this top row that you've had a lot of tough lessons recently, maybe over the past like couple of years, and now you're kind of coming out on top with that Hermit. You have the Six of Wands, again, with both of these cards, the Sun and the Six of Wands. Like, whenever I get the Sun and the Six of Wands, or like the Sun and the Star, I always tell people, like, get as much attention as you possibly can. Like, anything, especially in work or business, if you want to raise, get attention. We're talking about positive attention here. We're talking about doing things like asking your boss for a raise, number one. That's like the first thing. And by the way, if they say no, your job is to say, okay, what do I need to do to get a raise? Because maybe they'll tell you. People always come to me and they say, I asked for a raise and they said no. I'm like, okay, you're not supposed to stop at no. You're supposed to say, okay, what do I need to do? And if they say there's nothing you can do, then you leave. Right? You start looking for something else. So again, we need to be bold and assertive. We're in a time of needing to be bold and assertive. We can't be pushovers anymore. So, this is just the astrology, I believe. And again, anyone who tells you that things are going to be easy is a liar. So, and that's not even hard. Saying, what do I need to do? That is not a hard thing to do. So I would just do it. But I feel like there's a lot of success. I feel like you're getting a lot of attention as well. If you work in like social media or anything, really good cards for that. You have the Ace of Wands as well. Definitely like a passionate new beginning. To me, Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. There's this crumbling castle in the background. So it kind of represents, out with the old, in with something new. And it's like there's a new creation coming in for you. Could be a new relationship as well. Knight of Pentacles to the Lovers. Could be an Earth sign, of course, if you're looking for love. Could be an Aquarius as well, or a Virgo. But, take it how it resonates. General reading. I'm reading for a million of you. So it could be any sign. But I feel like it's like, right now it's a little bit slow, is what I would say, if you're looking for love. Some of you already have love. With the Sun, you have this Bees card. I'm using this Lenormand deck, and it has some extra cards in it that are just like Oracle cards, not Lenormand cards. This says sweetness, cooperation, hard work, focus, dedication, sweet results. So I feel like there are sweet results that are kind of like waiting for you, because we go Knight of Pentacles to the Magician, and the Knight of Pentacles, he knows everything he needs to know to be very successful. He just needs to plant seeds in this field behind him. So I feel like for those of you that are thinking about like doing something new in work or business, now is the time. I feel like it'll be very successful. I also feel like you could be attracting a very sweet person, going this way as well. With the Six of Wands, you have the clouds. The clouds in the Lenormand kind of represent confusion, not being sure what to do. They can also represent like hesitation or just unclear thinking. I feel like you need to stay focused. Really, with the Six of Wands, I would say that this could be allowing other people's opinions to cause confusion. So if you set off to do something, right, I feel like you just have to do it. Page of Wands, like skip over the Five of Pentacles, which is feeling left out or feeling misunderstood. It's like sometimes I think, I don't know, I've just known like a lot of people in my life who like, I don't know why these people come to me, probably because I'm a Pisces or whatever, but it's like where they feel like they're like, people don't understand me. I'm like, yeah, but that's a good thing. People aren't supposed to understand you, right? And especially if you're going to be successful, people don't necessarily understand success. And so I feel like you could skip over this Five of Pentacles by just not needing people to understand where you're coming from. Like, who cares what people think is what that's saying to me. With the Ace of Wands, you have this dice card. Again, not a Lenormand card, but an Oracle card. I feel like there is kind of like some sort of risk that you have to take. I'm pretty sure every single reading that I always do for you, Leo, says that there's a risk that you have to take. For a lot of you, it could just be to get started with that Knight of Pentacles to the Lovers. Lovers traditionally was just a card of being at a crossroads, like having a choice to make. And so I feel for some of you, it's just about picking the new path is the risk. So I would pick the new path. Next, for what you need to know right now, you have this routine card. It says daily tasks, patterns, plans, consistent, predictable, unchanging. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you need to change your daily routine or you need to change something about your daily routine. I feel like for the past couple months, I've been saying, I keep getting this message for you, Leo, where it's almost like you could be, it's almost like you could be doing the opposite of what you're doing, but I don't even think those are the right words to be using. But it's almost like you have to kind of like flip things around here, or, I feel like you need to kind of give more up front. I don't know. That's like the word I'm getting. I really don't even know where this is going. I wish I knew each and every one of your situations, right? But it's like in business, maybe you need to offer more value up front or something like that, but maybe you're afraid to, because maybe you're afraid that people, won't sign up for your service or whatever the case may be. But I actually think the opposite will happen to what you are thinking. I don't know. That's very specific. That might only be for one of you, but maybe one of you or some of you out there are like afraid to give too much up front. But I actually think it will create more value, not less, I hope that makes sense. And again, that might only be for some of you. For others, I feel like you need to change your daily routine, in general. I'm always talking to you about leaving a comfort zone. You have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords says no rushing at this time. Again, don't be too hasty to make any decisions, right? Especially during a Mercury retrograde. It's like one of those things where maybe someone says something to you I feel like saying this week. What week is it? What is today? Today is the 23rd. So, maybe this week of the 24th or whatever it is, someone, and I know this is early, this has nothing to do with May, but I would also say if you're watching this in May, like whatever week it is that you're watching this, I feel like there could be a person who says something to you and you have that reaction. Like, sometimes we have those immediate reactions where we jump to a conclusion. I do feel this is a warning that's saying, like, don't jump to conclusions at this time. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, I do feel you need to start planting seeds on some sort of new idea that you have in your life. I feel like you could be really successful, but it's like you have to start planting in these fields, and I would get moving. I also feel this is love. I'm getting both stories here, that for some of you, it's both. Like, for some of you, I literally feel you need to get started, and I also feel that this is a person that could be coming in for you. Could start off a little bit slow, but I actually feel pretty good about it. I feel it'll probably move forward very quickly. You have the Ten of Swords. I feel like you need to take your daily routine or however your day is structured right now, and you need to throw it out and maybe start over. Obviously, again, I always say that, people always say to me, like, my daily routine is working. Do I have to do this? No. Again, this is tarot. This is loose advice at best. If things are working for you, then, keep going. But what I would say is that if you've been doing the same thing like over and over and over again for days on end, for years on end, and things have not changed, then I feel like this is saying you need to change. But again, obviously, if things are working well for you, then that part of the message is not for you. I do feel like some of you have had just difficulties in general. We kind of talked about this at the beginning of the reading, but going up to the Five of Pentacles, to the Hermit, this is like a dark night of the soul. So, some of you maybe are like finally coming out of a dark night, or coming out of some sort of difficult lessons. With the Knight of Swords, you have this woman card. Some of you, gender doesn't matter. I feel like you could just be dealing with a person. This is a general reading, so I don't attach gender to my cards, but I do feel like you could be dealing with a person here. I would be careful of any person who is like rushing into your life, telling you things, and I'm not even getting anything specific. Like, it could be love. It could be a person who comes to you and is like, oh my God, the boss is going to fire everyone. But it's like, maybe they misheard something, right? I kind of just am getting like no secondhand information. I would say if you have a person coming to you who's saying like, so-and-so said this, like the telephone game, right? Or something like that, I would go directly to the source. I kind of feel Knight of Swords, that card there, it's saying anything this month where someone comes to you secondhand, do not take that as gospel, right? Go straight to the person. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Fish. Love it. Very good card for material wealth, finances. It's also a card of like freedom. On top of that, as far as love is concerned, the fish traditionally was a card of a soulmate. So, clearly going this way, we have like a soulmate coming in for you. It might be a little bit of a risk. This person, I kind of do feel like love is a risk right now, just in general. It's like no matter how you look at it, it's like love is pretty crazy nowadays. So, I think it's a risk for both sides. And, but I do feel like this could be a good person coming in for you. With the Ten of Swords, it could be a Pisces, by the way. You have this Fox card. This can represent like a sneaky, deceptive energy. Foxes are like tricksters as well. It can represent like manipulation. So going from the Ten of Swords to Five of Pentacles, it's like you could be hesitating on love because of a past like sneaky, tricky person. But I kind of feel like this is saying you have learned what to look out for. He's got the Lantern right here next to the Lovers. So to me, it's saying if you want new love, here in the area of the unexpected, you have this Ecstasy card here, and it's saying to me that there could be new love that's coming in for you that could lead to a lot of ecstasy, putting you on cloud nine or whatever they say, a lot of success and happiness here, but I feel like you have to take the risk. By the way, this is from the Empyrean Oracle. Really awesome. These are like animated holographic decks. And full disclosure, I have a business relationship with Threads of Fate, but they are launching 3 new decks that are linked up down below. So, that are also equally as awesome. They're holographic, just like this one. So if you're interested, definitely check that out down below. But what I would say is I feel like there's a lot of happiness coming in for you because of a love connection. You have the Lovers, the Five of Pentacles, and the Magician. Lovers obviously could represent love. And by the way, if this is not love, I feel like you're starting a new journey. Even if it is love, I feel like, look, we have the Page of Wands, which is like a new adventure coming in for you. I kind of feel like you could be fearing Five of Pentacles, like again, but I feel like you really need to tap into that Hermit energy. I feel like that Hermit is saying, I feel like that Lantern is enlightenment. It's like you can now shine a light on what has not worked in the past. So it's saying, if you meet a new person, trust that you know what to do now. You know how to do things differently. You know how to, what you can trust and what you can't trust. But again, she's choosing to kind of like walk out of the cold, this lady up front. These two are just like sitting there suffering. Five of Pentacles to me always says like, do not call attention to your weaknesses, focus on your strengths. You have the Magician here, so clearly a very passionate, like successful new beginning with this card. Plus you have the Ace of Wands in the same row. So I really feel you could be manifesting something very significant into your life. I'm also getting money here as well. So, some of you, if you're taking a risk in business or career, I feel like there could be a lot of success in like what you're doing with this energy. With the Lovers, you have the Tower. The Tower is not like the Tower in the Tarot. It's this is like a little bit different. It kind of represents, it's actually good. It can represent something that stands out. Personally, I like readings in Lenormand where we have the clouds and then the Tower. The Tower always stands above the cloud. So even if there's confusion, the Tower is something that stands out. It's something that you can't ignore. And so I feel like there is something coming in for you that can't be ignored. And I mean that in a good way. And that's literally what I'm getting intuitively. So it could be a person for some of you if you're looking for love. It's just a person who stands out. Could be a Gemini as well. You have like a lot of Gemini. You have fire here. You have basically everything, but a lot of air. So it could be an air sign as well. But, I feel like it's someone who kind of like stands out if it's love. If it's not love, I feel like this is a new adventure, a new option. Could be like a new job, new business, something new that you want to do. I would do it. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Tree. Every single person has had this card. It's a card of like longevity, security, building something that lasts a long time. I kind of feel that this has to do with like Uranus and Taurus, this type of energy, because, I think with Uranus and Taurus, pretty much everyone is very focused on building something long term. And not just love. I'm talking about everything. So I feel like you're just very focused on that. With the Magician, you have the Whip. The Whip says, do not repeat past mistakes. It's a card of like whipping yourself in the back. So I feel for some of you, it's just saying, look at the mistakes you've made in the past. With the Hermit, you have the light. I feel like you have the information, what you need to, I feel like you have everything that you need to know. And it's just saying, don't repeat a past mistake. Finally, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Dare to Dream card. So for some of you, I feel like you are dreamers. I feel like you need to pay attention to your dreams and as well, but I feel like there's like a risk you could be taking that kind of takes your life in a much bigger direction is what I'm getting. You have the Hermit, the Page of Wands, and the King of Swords. Kind of weird message. that I'm getting on the King of Swords, I feel like literally that this card is saying it doesn't matter how old you are. So, even if you're 90 years old, I feel like there's still time, plenty of time for you to do something. I feel like there's plenty of time to leave your mark on the world or whatever it is that you want to do. So I really feel like this is encouraging you to, kind of like take action and do some of the things that you've always wanted to do in your life. Doesn't matter how old you are. I also feel like there could be an age difference if you're attracting a person. You have the Page of Wands. I feel like you're ready for a new adventure. It's like I have the word preparation popping into my head on the Page of Wands. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that, but I feel almost like the universe has been preparing you for some sort of new beginning for a very long time. This could be like a new adventure or an exciting new direction that you're going to be moving in your life. And I just see so much success there, a lot of abundance. So I like it. I feel good about this Page of Wands. And Page of Wands can also represent a risk. He has these salamanders on his cloak, and the salamanders in the tarot represent kind of like protection from fire. So they basically say that you are protected from, risk or risk taking. You also have the Hermit, probably your most important card here, I would say. I really get the feeling that the Hermit is saying that you've been through a lot, but it's almost like that light, the lantern that he is holding. I've never felt this way before, Leo, in a reading, but it's almost as if you now have like a superpower that is that light. And, it's not like literally a superpower, but it's more like you can see, I feel like you can see the truth. It's almost like things are being revealed to you very easily. This could be in future connections or it could be like business ideas you have. It's almost like you're able to see what you need to see much, much clearer because of the things that you've been through. But again, I really feel this row is saying you need to dream big with that Dare to Dream card. Let's see. With the Hermit, you have the Sun. Yes, I mean, literally, the Sun is your card. And it's also your card. This is in the Lenormand, is what I'm trying to say. And it is your card in the Lenormand, and it's just the same as the Sun. You literally start and end with the Sun. Both cards can represent like enlightenment, joy, success, happiness, all those things. So definitely a very good reading for you. With the Page of Wands, you have the Mountains. The mountain can represent like obstacles, something to overcome, but it's not necessarily bad. I always say, where do you get the best views? You get them at the top of a mountain. So don't be afraid to conquer some sort of new mountain here with the Page of the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands kind of represents going on the adventure. So maybe you're conquering something new, but, I feel like you'll be able to do it easily. With the King of Swords, you have the Snake. Again, I feel like it's like you've learned how to tell the difference between, a person who is real and a person who is an enemy. And it's coming up within this row with this woman here. So I do feel that some of you, like, again, I don't think tarot should scare you, right? But what I would say is I would be careful of anyone who's coming in and telling you, like I said, so-and-so said this or whatever. I would be careful of those like third-party communications from people who are like, oh, so-and-so said this, or you're going to get fired tomorrow, or some weird story. It's popping into my head. I would be careful of that. I would also be careful of a person coming back from the past with this whip card here. In you have this fox as well. So this is like a very deceptive energy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. These three cards right here. And, I would just be careful of any like low-vibe people that you've dealt with in the past. I kind of feel like it's a person, and if you do that, you'll be fine. So, there you go. That's not what I wanted. We're going to pull 5 main themes now here, Leo, and we are going to see what is going on for you. So, let's see here. You have the foe card. This is a card of like an enemy. So again, I would be careful of people who are tricky or who seem tricky. You might have a person, in your life as well who it just seems tricky. I feel like didn't I say this to you last week? I'm pretty sure that I did. It's like if you have a person that you're starting not to trust, I feel like you need to trust that. I feel like that Hermit is saying you're really good at exposing, I don't think you're exposing this person. I just think you see it. And so I feel like you need to pay attention to that so that you don't like mess up in the future. You might want to put up boundaries. This could be like a person in work or business or whatever. You have this waiting card here. For some of you, I feel like you shouldn't wait. This could be in love. You have that dice card. If you're interested in a person, I would reach out, or, I would talk to the person or flirt with the person. I'm pretty sure I've said this to you recently as well, especially if it's an earth sign, I would say, or it could be any sign, but I feel like you need to kind of like get a move on here with this person, because it's like you're waiting for something. For some of you, I would say, especially, this is very specific, but if you're interested in a person who doesn't know that you're interested in them, I don't know. I feel confused now. But either way, if they don't know, I feel like this is saying, like, stop daydreaming about it, make something happen. You have this hope card. I feel like there's a lot of reasons for you to be hopeful in this reading. And again, I would avoid toxic energy. Next, you have the sweetheart card. I mean, you have that bees card that says sweetheart on it. So I feel like you could be attracting a person who's very sweet. It seems like everybody is right now for whatever reason. But definitely very good for love. And finally, you have this house card. Some of you could be moving, or you could be kind of like, I kind of feel like you could be adding more structure to your business. There's some sort of business change. Remember what I was trying to say at the beginning of the reading. It's almost like I see you like turning things around in your business. But I feel like that's a good thing. I feel like that house card is literally saying that you're kind of like making it stronger. So love it. But this is a pretty good reading here, Leo. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.